Daniel Morrison pushed his cleaning cart down the empty hallway of the 20th floor, the wheels making their familiar squeak against the polished tiles. At 58, he'd grown accustomed to the rhythm of night shift work, the quiet solitude of cleaning offices after everyone had gone home. His navy blue uniform was always neat, his graying hair combed back, and his weathered hands steady as he went about his work. This building, this job, it had been his anchor for the past 3 years, ever since everything had fallen apart. The executive suite was always his last stop. The CEO's office in particular required extra care, extra attention to detail. Not because anyone demanded it, but because Daniel took pride in his work. It was one of the few things he still controlled in a life that had spiraled beyond his grasp. His daughter Rachel, 16 now, was home with her grandmother tonight. The same arrangement as always. Daniel worked the night shift so he could be there when Rachel got home from school, could help with homework, could try to be both parents to a girl who'd lost her mother to cancer 4 years ago. He unlocked the CEO's office with his master key and stepped inside. The space always smelled faintly of lavender and paper, with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the city lights. Ms. Victoria Hayes, the nameplate read. He'd seen her a few times over the years, always immaculately dressed, always walking with purpose and a leather portfolio under her arm. She was perhaps in her early 50s, with an air of quiet authority that came from years of navigating the corporate world. They'd never spoken. People like her didn't notice people like him, and Daniel had made his peace with that long ago. He began his routine. Emptying the wastebasket, dusting the shelves lined with business books and awards, wiping down the massive oak desk. That's when he noticed it. A new photograph in a silver frame positioned where she'd see it while working. Daniel's hand froze mid-motion, his cleaning cloth suspended in air. The photo showed 2 children, maybe 9 or 10 years old, sitting on a porch swing. A girl with dark braids and a bright yellow dress, and a boy with a gap-toothed grin wearing a baseball cap. They were holding hands, laughing at something beyond the camera's view. Behind them, barely visible, was a house number, 247. The same faded blue paint, the same crooked mailbox. Daniel's legs went weak. He sat down heavily in the visitor's chair, staring at the photograph as memories crashed over him like waves. That house, that porch. That summer when he was 10 years old and his family had moved to Maple Street, and the girl next door had knocked on their door with homemade cookies and an invitation to play. Victoria, Vicky, they'd called her then. His best friend for 3 magical years before his father's job had transferred them across the country. They'd written letters for a while, the way children did before email and cell phones, but eventually life had pulled them in different directions, and the letters had stopped coming. He'd thought about her over the years, wondered what had become of the smart, fearless girl who'd taught him how to catch fireflies and stand up to bullies. His hands trembled as he set down the cloth. Could it really be her, after all these years? Working in the same building, him cleaning the office of his childhood best friend who'd become a CEO while he'd become the man who emptied her trash? The shame hit him like a physical blow. Daniel stood abruptly, finished his cleaning with mechanical efficiency, and left the office. But the photo haunted him. All through the rest of his shift, all through the quiet drive home as dawn painted the sky pink, all through the morning routine of making Rachel breakfast and getting her off to school. "Dad, you okay?" Rachel asked, her dark eyes concerned. She had her mother's intuition, that ability to sense when something was wrong. "Just tired, sweetheart," he said, kissing her forehead. "Have a good day at school." But he couldn't stop thinking about it. For the next week, Daniel cleaned Victoria's office with a strange ache in his chest. He noticed things now, a coffee mug that said "Nevertheless," she persisted, a small plant on the windowsill that someone had been carefully tending, books on leadership and innovation, but also a worn copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, their favorite book from 5th grade reading class. On Friday night, Daniel found a note on the desk. His heart stuttered when he saw it was addressed to him. "To the person who keeps my office so beautifully clean, thank you. Your attention to detail doesn't go unnoticed. The plant by the window seems happier, and I suspect you've been watering it. That's kindness beyond duty. 5th H." Daniel sat down again, the note trembling in his hands. He should walk away, should keep his head down and his distance. What would he even say? "Hi, remember me? I used to be somebody, now I'm the night janitor who peaked in high school, but something in him, some ember of the boy who'd been brave enough to befriend the new kid, stirred to life. He pulled out a pad of paper from his cart and wrote carefully, "You're welcome. Taking care of things that matter to people matters to me." The plant reminded me of someone I used to know who loved growing things. She had a whole garden of vegetables one summer and made the neighborhood help harvest them. DM. He left it on her desk and finished his shift, his heart pounding. Monday night there was another note, Daniel Morrison. I wondered if it was really you. I found your name on the building employee roster and I couldn't believe it. The boy who shared his lunch with me every day for a year because my mom was working 2 jobs and sometimes forgot to pack mine. I've been trying to figure out how to reach out without making things awkward. Can we talk? Vicky Daniels' eyes blurred with tears. She remembered. After all these years, she remembered. He wrote back, I'm here Tuesday through Saturday, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I understand if you'd rather not. Our lives went in very different directions. Tuesday night, at midnight, Victoria Hayes walked into her own office to find Daniel cleaning the windows. She'd changed from her business suit into jeans and a sweater, her dark hair loose around her shoulders instead of pulled back in its usual professional style. Without the corporate armor, he could see the girl he'd known, still there in her eyes. Danny, she said softly, using the name no one had called him in 40 years. Vicky, he replied, his voice rough. They stood there for a long moment, and then she crossed the room and hugged him. Not a polite business hug, but a real one, tight and fierce and full of decades of missing someone. I can't believe it's you, she whispered. I thought about you so many times. Wondered what happened to the boy who taught me how to throw a curveball. I thought about you too, Daniel admitted. You were going to be a lawyer, going to change the world. She pulled back, smiling through tears. Close. I became a CEO instead. Turns out business school was more my speed. Then her expression softened. Danny, what happened? Not that there's anything wrong with what you do, but you were so smart, you were going to be an engineer. He should have felt ashamed, but her question held only concern, no judgment. Life happened, he said quietly. I did become an engineer, had a good job, got married, had a daughter. Then my wife got sick. Cancer, the medical bills, even with insurance. We lost everything, the house, the savings. I lost my job when I had to take too much time off to care for her. After she died, I needed work that would let me be there for my daughter during the day. This job, it's honest work. It lets me be the father Rachel needs. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Oh, Danny, I'm so sorry. Don't be, he said, and meant it. I have Rachel. She's 16 now, smart as a whip, wants to be a doctor. She's my whole world.